Sometimes a popular message in music and in life is the phrase, life is a highway. Very American, which is fine, by the way. Life is a journey. And sometimes it's an overused term for even a short trip in life. Hearing the rustling of leaves beneath our feet, that means I'm not alone. And I am with the original Fall Guy, John Cheetham. This is, I guess, a special diary entry because, as we shared in the previous episode, we have a very special meeting. So it is special, not kind of, it is. And I want to just catch up with John, quite literally, because he does walk fast, and ask, how are you feeling? How are you feeling about the pending meeting that we're just about to do?
Good.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Arrived here early. We're on the way.
And it's, where are we? Six hours from door to door-ish. But
yeah.
we stopped a couple of times. But just want to share this moment. We've got some levels of expectation. We talked about it in the car on the way. I've already mentioned we had a couple of stops en route. But now here we are, we're just coming up to 12:30.
Yeah, and we're about a mile away.
About a mile away. So we're going to walk, and we will be sharing over the next few days, weeks, what happened. So this is a meeting, Ocado. Other home delivery food services are available, but they could be another sponsor as well. Within reason, we'll take most sponsors, but that's part of what we're doing. We're closer to the eventual outcome of Fall Guy initially becoming a documentary, and that's what this meeting is for. So it's no small thing. It's a big achievement to get to this point, and we will, of course, what we can share. Watch this space. And we are walking, talking, avoiding a trip, literally, but we've come here with purpose. And we're closer to the outcome. I think first and foremost that you desire, John.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a long journey.
Yeah.
It's not just 6 hours in the car.
Quite right.
It's been 20 years. So, it's important. We've got to it now.
Yeah.
And basically, hopefully we're walking away with this, with John, the documentary is going to start whenever it is. So today we'll tell you more.
Welcome to Diary with the original Fall Guy, John Cheetham, episode 6. And you've just seen an introduction of the beginning of the week, this week that is now completed. We're recording this on Sunday, the 17th of November, 2024. And to say it's been an eventful week is a massive understatement. I'm just about to share with you a personal video that I recorded Friday just gone. And I was just picking up Michelle, my partner, from work in the darkness. So don't be afraid. It is very, very dark. I'm not going to go into detail here now, but things will 100% unravel as this episode continues, because life's not a straight line, is it? It's not just everything's going swimmingly well. And myself and John decided we wanted to share the entire journey of everything we're doing. The documentary, you've seen just a little bit about that pre-meeting. The evenings with, the music, the soundtrack, the moving to vinyl, and so much more. The book, where everything began. John's book and what's happening with that as well. So this is everything to do with that and more. But of course, along the way, there are challenges, adversities, setbacks. And what we want to do, myself and John, is to share those with you. Not because we want pity or sympathy. We welcome support, and that will unravel as we discuss things further in a moment when John joins us. But also as proof, as living, breathing proof that even with the most traumatic experience, and that's particularly me referring to John, what happened to John, I'm going to share. I've just decided now that when we recorded at Cheshire Podcasts recently in this incredible studio there, I'm going to share a message from John because it's so powerful and it's so encouraging for you. Stay with us. There's a really, really incredible special at the end after we share just an unbelievable, agonizing, astonishing occurrence of events that happened on the way back from our trip to London. So everything was going well, and then we turned a corner quite literally, and things changed. So that will come out in the next video, but it will come out even more when John joins us, and also a very, very special outro. Don't miss it, because already, and I know this is going to come out again, I want to thank those emotion alert. I want to thank those who have already started supporting us in what we're doing and have acknowledged what we experienced on Tuesday afternoon. So here we go. Round about 1:30, there or thereabouts. Couple of hours into the journey, halfway. Stopped, parked the car, Hilton Park Services. Me and John still having positive communication, talking about plans, documentary. Those people over there are looking after that. They're doing that. Me and you, John, we focus on the music for Fall Guy. We focus on the soundtrack. We focus on all of the other things we're doing. We focus on the evenings that we're going to be doing and more. We focus on those things. And that's what we focus our attention on. So, all good, all positive. Those people over there are looking after that. Me and John are looking after our business and what we're doing. And again, I want to emphasise that word business. This is not just some pastime, some idle thing we're doing. And it's life. It's not just business, it's life. This is a man who was close to being destroyed. This is a man who lives in a community that I now happen to live in. And you don't just get back up and carry on, even though John has. So, there we are. So that's that. That's that. My mind is going around. I'm just picking Michelle up from work as well. And those who know us know what's coming next, if you're still here. I don't know. I don't control the algorithms. Let me know. And anyway, we go in. John has black tea. I have a black coffee. We come back out 45 minutes after we've been in there or thereabouts, bit of lunch, late lunch. Start looking around the car park. Where's the car? Have that feeling, that stomach dropping feeling of, John, the car's not here. Looking under a van and I think the van's high enough for me to see the wheels of John's car. John's car's not there. So, those who don't know, for those that are interested, John's car was stolen. Then we went into the whole rigmarole of John having to contact insurance. I'm not going to go on for much longer. I had a cold before I went away. I wasn't feeling too good. We did that travelling. I had a cold, of course, when we came back. And then this happened. And the last couple of days I've not been feeling particularly well. There we go. No sympathy, no pity, just reality. Everyone has situations in life, of course. And my heart goes out to you for the situation you're facing. I'm not trying to cap it. I'm not trying to say you haven't got what you've got. What I am saying, and more will come out of this, is this has set us back. It's set us back. It's probably going to cost John in the region of close to a couple of grand.
Yeah. So, anyone who's hearing this, who's watching this, remember that the brightest star needs the darkest night to shine. I think we both got the same thing there.
Yeah, you sound like it as well. So
Yeah,
I've done a little introduction, John.
yeah,
So we're kind of already diving straight in. Um, I think both of us, by nature, we're not the kind of people who like to share bad news,
no,
even though we've experienced it. I
yeah,
think what I've gained from you is you're a very, very positive, upbeat person. We're going to see a few smiles from you in a moment. If not, even there you go. There's one right there. But I want to begin with Tuesday because I've
yeah,
already shared some other things, and I think for you to share your feelings towards shock, the shock of
yeah.
what happened on Tuesday.
Yeah, so we were driving home Tuesday with the idea of being home before it got dark.
Yeah, you mo-
But
you
we
you're moving there a little bit, John, because your phone's moving.
all
So
right.
yeah, I know it's
Um,
difficult because you're holding the
maybe a bit
phone.
better,
Yeah,
a bit better.
yeah, carry on.
Um, so we were driving home.
Mm,
We'd set off fairly early.
mm.
We made a pit stop at Clifton Park,
Hilton Park.
Hilton
Yeah,
Park,
yeah,
in the West Midlands,
yeah.
just south of Stoke, I'm
Mm,
guessing. Um, we popped in, toilet break, coffee, chat, came out, and the car was missing. We thought we must have parked it somewhere else initially, but no, uh, it was parked up and it had gone.
yeah.
So that
It,
took us about another 7 hours, 6 hours to
yeah,
get home.
yeah.
It should have been about three.
Well, we were just under, I think, the last couple of hours because Hilton Park services between Enfield, which is where we were.
Yeah,
I shared a little bit of a video earlier in this episode of us before we went into the meeting,
yeah,
which was really interesting, kind of, quite upbeat as you would be, even afterwards.
yeah,
And I think what you just said there has just struck me because obviously when you're in the midst of dealing with something, coping with something, managing something, time feels different.
yeah,
But what would have been, I think to be precise, I am going to be precise, 1 hour and 50 minutes
yeah,
of the remainder of the journey. So we were
yeah,
more than halfway home, just. We had
yeah,
just under 2 hours to go. And
yeah,
then when you said what you just said, it ended up being, 6 or 7 hours and
yeah.
taxi, trains, having to jump on different platforms. Basically, long story short, something we hadn't prepared for, to say
No,
the least. And
no,
um, and tell us about the last few days, John, because obviously that was Tuesday, but of course you've been having to manage something that I really, really want to emphasize, not necessarily to you, because I know you know this. I don't think I even need to emphasize this for other people. Um, it wasn't your fault. The,
no.
the
So,
car was locked. It was, yeah.
yeah, car was locked,
Mm-hmm.
car was alarmed,
Mm-hmm.
car had a tracker on there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the car was stolen. So, guys who steal cars, females who steal cars,
Mm.
or anyone, they, them, whatever they want to be called,
Yeah.
who go out and steal cars,
Yeah.
use your brains and do something else. You've obviously got a skill set to be able to, one, you can drive, two, you know a little about car electronics, three, you're quite quick in how you operate. So why don't you get a proper job? You would probably make more money doing a legal job
Mm.
than an illegal job.
Yeah.
So, and from a personal point of view, a principle of insurance is to put the person that suffers the loss back in the same financial position they enjoyed immediately before the loss.
Yes.
It's a principle called indemnity.
Yeah.
Well, that's bullshit that we've been sold by someone because that person stealing my car will have cost me about £3,000.
Yeah. Yeah. And in the midst of what we're doing, and I think that's straight reality. There's emotion in what you're sharing purely because of the injustice of it, but not
Yeah,
anything more than that. What you're saying
no,
is factually correct. And I'll tell you another thing as well that we experienced that I discovered, which could be a worthy note for other people for what
yeah,
this is worth to them, is the particular services. I don't know whether this is other services, it could be. There's the AMPR, so the number plate recognition cameras, going in, going out. But when I spoke to the manager at Hilton Park Services, there are no CCTV cameras.
no,
So I'm back again without sounding conspiracy theorist, that what you've just said about insurance,
yeah,
it doesn't tragically cover the client because you're now at a loss,
yeah,
which is, you said, indemnity should exist. So we just want to say that there's no political statement in this. This is just fact. And also, I think you could apply that to the camera system too,
yeah,
because there's a clocking on and a clocking off, if you like, of the
yeah,
vehicle, because
yeah,
then, of course, there's a chance to then charge people for staying longer than they should do. But
yeah.
there's no actual safeguarding security protection for the customers who are there, in many, many cases, spending money. Yeah.
Customers or staff
Yeah, well said. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
staff.
yeah,
If they're working late night on a service station in the middle of nowhere,
yeah.
working at coffee shop,
Mm,
petrol station, whatever it may be, and they've got to walk from their job to their car
yeah,
before they go home, they're not safe.
no. I was told clearly, I just want to emphasize that again. I was told clearly by the management, sorry to tell you this, or sorry to break this news to you. I think something like that. I can't remember the exact wording, but something like that. There are no CCTV cameras. So therefore, the way I read that in the intonation that it was shared was almost like a not an admission of guilt, but certainly a recognition that they should be there, but they're not.
Yeah,
So we were kind of in that stage, weren't we? And of course, you've mentioned the loss to yourself
yeah,
potentially in the midst of everything else that's going on, and I certainly wouldn't make light of this. I don't think anybody should. Another thing I want to just express, and thankfully it's not been many, but I think for anybody to attribute any level of responsibility to yourself, and or me, and or forces beyond the people who actually stole the car, in my view and experience is completely wrong. Basically, somebody took advantage. By the looks of it, these things are often planned and monitored and watched. So somebody would have been, looking at us for a period of time, followed in, made sure we went inside, made sure we stayed inside, didn't come back out to the car. So an opportunist and a cruel opportunist, because what you shared a moment ago, we're not, you're not like John Cheetham two Jags. You're not John
no,
Cheetham two Jags, and even if you were, that would still be wrong.
yeah,
Okay, but everyday people. We were in a Ford Fiesta. I'm not saying Ford Fiestas are not good cars, but it's not like we got hundreds of thousands of pounds. So somebody took advantage of an everyday person.
Yeah.
And that for me makes it more wrong.
Yeah.
I suppose that's up to debate, but they stole from not you've not got vast amounts of money at all.
I've got zero,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the evening I was home,
mm,
I couldn't work.
yeah,
So I've also lost a couple of days, couple of weeks' work
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So, and you lost your equipment, your mic and things in the boot, which of course will come down to me to make sure you're paid.
Mm,
At the minute, it's currently 3 grand.
yeah, yeah,
So I think, yeah, if the police get the thief, great. Well, they should be made to pay back the three
totally,
grand.
totally.
Or
And
insurance companies
yeah,
should be made to stand by their principle,
yeah,
which is one of their 7 principles
mm,
of insurance, that they put the person who suffered the loss back in the same position they enjoyed before the loss.
yeah. I mean, without discussing it too much more, in a sense of we're going to move on because that's what we do, because that's
Yeah,
what we do only purely. But other things that are coming to me in terms of a collision, it's
yeah,
debatable. So I'm not going to say too much because otherwise we'll open up a can of worms of other people having opinions. But accidents are avoidable.
yeah.
Yeah, theft is not, unless you're actually in the vehicle. So
No,
what's insurance for? What's
yeah,
what's the point of it? What's the point of it? In some ways, against a collision, you're insuring against the possibility. And of course, there is the possibility of theft as well, but that's no fault. That's definitely no fault.
no,
In collisions, a rear end collision, generally, if you're the front vehicle, it's a non fault. But of course, then you go into excess payments and everything else. And I think, it's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. One, the situation, the person who took advantage, and what happened afterwards. So, that put us in a position of financial setback, definitely, for yourself.
yeah,
That recording equipment you talked about, the box hadn't even been opened.
no, no.
Um,
You,
six
you'd
up.
really, you'd received it on the Sunday
Yep,
before we drove down on the Monday.
yep, yep, yep. Took it with us for the possibility that we might be able to use it and or have a look at it in the boot, not on view. So anyway, that's me saying anyway, not as in anyway to you, because it's going to take a while to overcome this. The thing that's happened since, and I've already shared this video, John, in this episode. Friday night, I was picking Michelle up from work, having been in the studio,
Yeah,
and I did a live video on Facebook because I just felt like I wanted to express myself after a couple of days. I qualified my language because I could have used certainly a lot stronger, certainly in regard to the people who did what they did. But I kind of kept it controlled. But I felt like I needed to share. Now I want to say I want to kind of begin to turn between us because this is who we are, yeah, and this is
yeah,
what we're doing. Two people have already donated to the GoFundMe.
yes, yeah,
And two people have already donated on the strength of the video that I did. You can almost hardly see me. It's like
no,
I'm in the car. I'm
yeah,
in darkness. It looks a bit threatening, yeah. But I want to thank those people, and I want to thank everybody
yeah,
else who's donated before that.
yeah, great. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
It helped, where our plan, myself and Ray, is to get our album finished.
mm,
That ties in with my book and the reason we were down in London, firstly. So yeah, thank you. It does help.
absolutely, John. Then I shared a piece kind of next to split screen of you.
Yeah.
at Cheshire Podcast Studios that we recorded. And
Yeah.
one of the videos where you said the brightest star needs the darkest night.
Yeah.
So I shared that, and it was a very, very emotional part. And this was all before, of course, what happened on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we decided after the meeting, the documentary meeting, that the documentary filmmakers, so this is a timestamp effectively, that the agreement has begun, which is they're drawing up a proposal for the documentary because they're more qualified to go into the detail of what's required for that
Yeah.
and the financing of it, the funding of it.
Yeah.
So they're taking care of that. So that now exists, and this is a message I've shared a couple of times already. That now exists, if you like, over there. And what we
Yeah.
had, which is what we were talking about while you were having your black tea, I was having my black coffee in Hilton
Yeah.
Park services, which
Yeah.
is a clear review of what you and I are doing,
Yeah.
which is to complete the soundtrack album, even though that's taken definitely a financial setback in terms of what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. A time setback for both of us in different ways,
Yeah.
and the evenings. So we're now focusing on the soundtrack, the evenings, the reprint of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, which of course we're looking at ways to fund that as well. And the GoFundMe will enable us to do those things and more. And we've already, in effectively one day, had two people donate £25 to the GoFundMe. So
Yeah.
I know it's going to sound really obvious to anyone watching. That adds up to £50. So if you now begin to get another person, another person, another person, another person doing exactly that, we start then building up this fund, which enables printing of the album, reprints of the book, the evenings, etc., and more.
Yeah.
So I want to just shout that out for those watching. Thank you to those who already have, and carry on, continue. And when we share with you in a moment, you're going to have an even stronger feeling of what it is that you're becoming part of. And just to kind of round that all up, for the £25 donation, effectively, you're paying in advance for the vinyl copy. So
Yeah.
you will receive a vinyl copy. So it's not like something for nothing. Check back episode 4, recorded at Cheshire Podcast Studios, because then you will find out even more of John's life and how incredible it is that John is still doing what he's doing. And yeah, there's just so much more to come. So we consolidated. We consolidated. That's the best way I can describe it. We resolved. And how would you sum up what we've now resolved and consolidated to do, the two of us? What's our determination? Are there any things that, like the evenings that are happening, potential dates, that kind of thing?
Okay, we've got a date for Oldham Community Radio on the 14th of December.
Yep.
We've got a potential date for the 25th of January
Well done.
in Oldham at the football club at Boundary Park.
And that's a Saturday. That's a Saturday
It's not
evening. So
today. Yeah.
pop that one in your diaries for people that are in that area.
We've got an HMV performance in February at HMV Bury.
Yeah.
And we're waiting on a date for HMV Arndale
And
in the centre of Manchester.
absolutely. I spoke directly to them because the guy who organises the live and local musical events was away on holiday when
Yeah.
we went in, and I phoned him, Tony, and he said, please email me again because your email will then go to the top of my email list. So I thought that was lovely. So
Nice, yeah.
that's gonna happen. It's just a question of when. So these are the things, and a lot of what we've just said we did after we got back on Tuesday.
Yes, yeah.
So I think for me personally, I definitely needed Wednesday to kind of, not even come to terms because I still haven't, and I doubt very much if you have. Um, but to kind of just try and get back on my feet and think, okay, right, begin again, and that's what we've done. So already there's stuff taking place. We had a video call on Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to mention names. Lisa Kate, we
Yeah.
were aware of her. Nicholas Barnes, ex-army, and his life, wow, amazing. So we're being drawn to people like yourself who have overcome the most astonishing of experiences and are taking that and turning that, channeling that into power. So this is not pity, this is not sympathy. This is the opportunity to join together in the outcome, in the
Yeah.
ultimate outcome of what it is that we're doing. Is there anything you
Yeah.
wanted to go on, John? Go on, please.
Yeah. I think sometimes you need to be hurt
Hmm.
to get a kickstart
Hmm.
to go above that. And I think sometimes we all need that kick,
Yeah.
and it kicks us in a different direction. Um,
Can we have a
so
couple
yeah,
less though, John? Can
yeah, we keep having them.
can
But
we just say
who-
that's it? That's it for a while.
whoever's out there kicking us is not winning. They've
No,
lost.
no.
They're history. They're in the past. What I'd say about a car is the windscreen is bigger than the back windscreen for one reason in life: you're going forward. You're not going back, and it's bigger because you need a clearer view of yourself going forward.
Wow. That's often the direction of travel, isn't it?
Yeah,
As an ex-driving instructor, but a current advanced driver trainer, simple truth, I used to use this with learner drivers, which is when you are going backwards, because obviously that's different when you're reversing in your analogy, you turn yourself in the seat slightly to look in the direction you're going. That's periodic because it's very, very occasional we're reversing. So even in your analogy, sometimes we are looking back, occasionally, yeah,
yeah,
but predominantly the bulk of the journey of life is going that way. It's going
yeah,
forwards. So you're totally right. So therefore,
yeah,
in perspective, it's a small part. It's a small
yes,
part of the
yeah,
bigger part, and the
yeah,
bigger part is forwards. That's a fantastic illustration. That's why the way my brain works, and I think you've got used to this, is processing what you've just said. Otherwise, it's words, and it's far, far more than that. So I think there's a really valuable message in what you've just shared for those who are joining us,
yeah,
and that's why we're opening up this diary. Yes, we have these meetings, we have these discussions, we have these experiences, some including Tuesday, but we want to open up the experience for other people to see. And therefore, of course, along the way, there are going to be challenges and adversities in the process of what we're doing.
yeah,
So we're going to share those.
yes,
Uh,
that's
uh,
it.
and that we're sharing the whole thing, everything. That's why the diary is open.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
what?
it's
Go on, John.
gone. You're all right.
What about this coming week? So now we're. I'm not even going to say back on track, but we've turned what happened into the best we can. We've
Yeah,
consolidated you and I. We understand documentaries over there being looked after by those people. Music, book, evenings, all of those things, HMVs, Waterstones potentially. That's you and me. What have we got planned for this week?
just more of what we're doing.
Yeah,
Just keep going.
yeah,
You know, we're waiting. to hear from Salford lads with a date, potentially in March,
Yeah.
where we will be doing another evening. We've been there, we've spoke to them,
Yeah.
we've emailed them, we've had a reply that looked positive for March.
Yeah.
Um, you're at the recording studio.
Yeah. Tomorrow.
Uh,
Yeah. Monday.
yeah,
Yeah.
tomorrow. So that's great. That means we're little steps forward towards getting what we want to be done. The album finished. Um, I've got uni tomorrow.
Yeah.
I've got some things to take care of personally in the morning,
Yeah.
basically paperwork. Um, and then, yeah, we'll carry on doing what we do best.
Wednesday. Wednesday, we might even arrange something now. Here you go. Live.
Yeah,
But Wednesday, we've actually decided pretty much the whole day, for want of a better expression, because we have regular business meetings, including these that we share with others. And we're going to get together and we're going to be talking about TikTok, which I've spent a little bit of time this morning trying to look into the equipment that I've got, and
yeah,
I'm not able to currently do a TikTok live. I'm not. I don't
no,
have some of the things that I needed were actually in an accompanying bag with a
yeah,
microphone that was in the boot. So that's going to take place, but we are talking about how we're going to use TikTok together, and particularly your TikTok platform, to
yes,
share more and reach out to more people to connect with everything that's around Fall Guy, everything that's
yes,
around
yeah,
you.
yeah,
So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be looking at the videos that we created at Cheshire Podcast Studios, sharing those across social media because they're really really good and really
yeah,
powerful. And we spent the time there and we spent the money there, so that's important to get that across how we're going to approach social media. And what I was going to say to you, what are your uni hours on Tuesday? Remind me.
Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah,
Let me just confirm.
I love this. This is a live appointment being made.
Yeah,
A live appointment in diary.
I'm in Preston 1 till 4.
1 till 4. So that's a little bit challenging for you travel wise at the moment,
Yeah,
isn't it?
because
Yeah,
I would at the minute I've obviously no car,
yeah, yeah.
so it's
I,
either bus or train.
yeah, I know. Just so you know, this has kind of gone a little bit like a damp squid this moment. The car's not available. My car's not available on Tuesday.
No,
Otherwise, I could have travelled across to Preston with you. Michelle's got an appointment that she needs to make. I already know that, but we'll be together on Wednesday.
yeah,
I think you'll probably know a little bit more by then, hopefully.
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
everything's gone to the insurance company, including keys and documents and blah 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 blah. So they've got everything they need. Um, so yeah, um, hopefully they're in a position to pay me,
yeah,
and then I can move forward in maybe getting another car.
yeah, yeah. So those that are with us, and there are a few and a growing number. There's a growing number of people that are with us. Some have started coming on board more, and particularly two donations just in the last day,
Yeah,
as a result of a live that I shared. To do anything. Here's something that came to me earlier. I know we've only got a few more minutes before the video ends, but I was thinking earlier on, and I know it's a weird one, but you know these programs that, and you'd appreciate this as well, the transforming the home type programs. I'm going
yes,
I'm
yeah,
going back in the day. I don't know whether he still does it or not, but Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
or Ground Force with a garden. You know, they take a
yeah.
garden or a house and they
Charlie Dimmock.
You've got it. And they take it and they transform. They transform it. Yeah.
Yeah,
The level of emotion that you saw on the faces of people when they came into the garden or into the house for a house or a garden, which I'm not diminishing the
no,
value of that. But
no,
what I am suggesting is this is even more than that. So when you think of what you are able to do and the power you have, £25. And the more people that do that, the more opportunity you create towards the completion, and not just the completion of the vinyl album in the first instance, but also your receipt of that. And it is
yeah,
going to be a limited edition, and it is a
yeah,
part of more. So even though John experienced what he experienced on Tuesday and I was with him, it's not stopping.
yeah,
This is moving onwards, and even more so because we're now clearer of what we're doing, what myself and John are doing. The documentary is being looked after by other people. The formation of that. Then we'll become involved in that when that becomes more of what it becomes. So now we focus on book, music, evenings with. So that's what you're going to hear a lot of in Diary with the original Fall Guy, John Cheetham. And I've shared my thoughts on Thoughts, which is one of the tracks, in fact, two of the tracks on the soundtrack album, two different versions of the same song, a bit more of an up-tempo rock version, track 2, a bit more of an acoustic version, track 11, including your voice.
yeah,
Then when I was in the studio, we started just listening to the music without vocals. And I genuinely felt, wow, this is beautiful, including incredible piano that's now been added from Craig. So I then decided, and I discussed this with you, to form that music into a piece of incidental music,
yeah,
instrumental music.
yeah,
Then I had the idea, and this came about from Tuesday, and our loss in that time, and your loss particularly, of the journey that we've made, where we've been, what we've done, all of the open mics, the lives, the trips to London, traveling in the car, meetings that you and I have had, discussions, cover artwork for the digital songs that are released, the book cover initially. And I put all of that together. I say all of it, not all of it, some of it together with this piece of incidental music. And the song is called Thoughts. I've shared it with you. We're now going to share it with our audience
yes,
through
yeah.
this YouTube channel. Tell me what you felt as you listened to the music and as you watched the video of things that we've done over the last well over a year.
Yeah. Well, we've been everywhere with what we're doing, from Camden to Enfield to Birmingham. You're off to North Wales shortly. There's a lot going on. So it was great to recap and actually see what we have done this year. And it's an amazing amount of things that are possible, long as you get up, dress up, and get out there, get it done. And it shows that anyone can do that. And we've been out there and done that.
And we will do more.
Yeah,
And that's what we're planning to do. And with others' support, we can do even more. And that's particularly, as I say, with the completion of the album. So I'm sure people will enjoy it. I know even though we've had a couple of reversals, and this one in particular recently, and even more so for you, than for me. Um, we are keeping going and we are keeping shining, and you are always getting up, dressing up, showing up.
Yeah,
And this is a capture of the power of two human beings and more, because there's incredible music from Mark, music I wrote for your lyrics thoughts, which will become more known. But I just think it's a very, very poignant moment to share this and to hope that those that have the means to be able to, £25, donate. 10 people, 250 quid, 20 people, 500 quid. When you start talking about that, and people that know both you and I, people that know us, as well as some people that don't even know us,
yeah,
then when you start adding that up, that's when things begin to happen. And most things, like that revamp, that transformation of that house or that garden that we talked about in those programs, it takes money. It
yeah,
requires money. Often these programs are sponsored by, Homebase or B&Q or whoever it might be. Other stores are available, yeah. But something like that, that's all we need. That's all we need. It's not poverty, it's not desperation, because we're doing what we're doing anyway. And we've done
yeah.
a lot. And here is the testament and the proof of some of what we've done so far, and realize there's even more to come, and you can be an incredible part of that. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.